It's crazy, isn't it? Doesn't it just seem like video games just keep on getting more and more expensive? This, of course, includes Grand Theft Auto 6. I talked about Grand Theft Auto 6 recently in a video. And one of the things that I was talking about, of course, was the lack of a physical disc for the physical retail release of the game. One thing I didn't really talk about quite as much was the $100 Ultimate Edition, which, of course, is something that we do need to talk about. So, the Ultimate Edition has been a point of contention for various people because of the fact that, the base game itself is already $80, which is higher than the standard, which is usually like $60 or $70. They're not necessarily the first company to release a game at the $80 price point. Nintendo, of course, has done so with Mario Kart World. But, there's also the $100 Ultimate Edition. So, got this article here from Vice. It's going to break down what you can expect, of course, with the Ultimate Edition. But a lot of people have been complaining about some of the extras and whatnot that are included with it, feeling like you're being excluded from things in the game. Here's the thing. It is upsetting. I'm not going to downplay why somebody be upset about that. This is not remotely the first time this has happened. This is actually pretty standard for a lot of different companies. I'll show you a couple of examples. So, anyways, you'll get some exclusive vehicles, some exclusive outfits. There's going to be some weapons, cosmetics, Ultimate Edition businesses and locations. This is one lot people were pretty upset about, of course, because maybe they were thinking that this means they're not going to have certain options that they had in GTA 5, of course, like the Rideout Customs Vehicle Shop, One-Eyed Willie's Mod Shop, got the Tattoo Shop, So I imagine that the actual base game's going to have options for all this stuff. They're just going to have less options based on this here. We're going to have the safe house stuff and, of course, 2 exclusive side missions. So that's going to be kind of interesting that those are excluded. Those are obviously going to be side activities. They're not going to be based on the plot at all. Probably very little plot in the actual activities themselves. Maybe along the lines of what you can expect from like a GTA Online mission, I would imagine. And of course, they're also going to have the Vintage Vice City Pack, which is available specifically for pre-orders. So this is something that you're not even going to have access to unless you pre-ordered a game, apparently. Because it's not even going to come with the Ultimate Edition otherwise. But that's going to be with the regular edition as well. So there is that. And it seems like most people, like the argument has already been lost because according to this IGN poll, 70% of people plan to buy the Ultimate Edition over the Standard Edition. And of course, they are discussing if this makes it the first $100 video game. It remotely does not. There's some crazy stuff out there, guys. And I'm not talking about the silly stuff like, what's that stupid game on PC that's like $1,000? It's the rich game. We'll have to look that one up. But of course, they're going into like what it includes as well. And everybody, we'll click on see results, see if that's changed. Actually, the percentage went up just a tiny bit. They might even round it down to 70%, possibly. But yeah, that's kind of wild. Here's a fun little fact. I've been streaming Red Dead Redemption 2 lately. I've got a playlist of the streams. I'm probably going to stream that again soon, maybe within the next day or two. But here's the thing. So, let us go ahead and take a look at Red Dead Redemption 2. I've got the Steam page here. Currently, you can get the standard game, which is normally $59.99. You can get it for 75% off. What's this here? Red Dead Redemption 2 Ultimate Edition. 80% off. $19.99. What is the Ultimate Edition? You might wonder, which doesn't that sound familiar? GTA 6 Ultimate Edition, Red Dead Redemption 2 Ultimate Edition. Bear in mind, Red Dead Redemption 2 came out almost 8 years ago. Includes this stuff right here. Kind of hard to see what that says. So let's go ahead and try to do a little search real quick. See if we can find a decent breakdown of this here. Not sure if that's going to be okay. So here we go. Red Dead 2 Redemption Ultimate Edition. Get exclusive story mode content. Story mode content, guys. Bank robbery mission and gang hideout. So there is at least one exclusive mission to this. Plus, we've got the horse, gunslinger outfit, gameplay bonuses, gameplay boost, cash bonuses, discounts, 3 free weapons at the gunsmiths, plus online content, bonus outfits, and free survivor camp theme, rank bonuses, black chestnut, thoroughbred, free access to additional weapons. That game is at 80% off right now. 80% off at $19.99. That means $99.99. So again, this is not the first time Rockstar has done this. It's not the first time that a lot of companies have done this. Here we've got good old Ubisoft. Watch Dogs 2, back in 2016. You know, good old Ubisoft. They currently have it on sale for 95% off. I went ahead and got the Gold Edition. The Gold Edition. 95% off. Normally $79.99. Let's take a look. What we got here. The Gold Edition includes the Deluxe Pack, which you can see there, and the Season Pass. Let's look at the Season Pass here. See if we can find that listed there. Okay, T-Bone Content Bundle. Looks like that's mainly cosmetic stuff. A new co-op difficulty mode. Human Conditions. Hack your way through several hours of additional mission content and 3 new world stories and uncover San Francisco's biggest scientific scandals. No Compromise Experience, an all-new world story, which mixes markets up. Yeah, you get the point. You get the point. This has been like an industry practice for a long time. I'm not saying it's not worth being upset over it, but we have lost the fight, guys. We really have. Clearly, these companies are doing this in part because it's profitable for them. It makes them more money to have these kinds of additions, paywalling content out of the games, than it doesn't. This is nothing new. We can go all the way back, guys. Let's go all the way back to good old Call of Duty World at War. Old game. 2008. This game came out in 2008. So we've got good old Call of Duty World at War. So I'm not showing anything specifically listed here for this game. However, they used to sell map packs. Not sure if that's something that is just automatically included. Let's pull up, let's say, Call of Duty Black Ops. So let's go a little bit in the future. Let's look for the OG Black Ops right here. Content for this game. Look at this. They have 4 different map packs that they're selling for the game. This is paywalled content. Paywall content has existed in video games for a very long time. Ever since the expansion packs on PC during like the early 90s, when that was a thing. Expansion packs became DLC or season passes or anything like that, gold editions. It's all just changes in terminology. The practice itself has not changed. You know, so I could buy Call of Duty Black Ops right now for $19.99. If I want to actually get the full experience of the game, I'm going to have to fork over an extra $26 on top of that. for a game that is effectively 16 years old at this point. Let's maybe pick on the Eastern devs a little bit, because, you know, let's pull up good old Dead or Alive 5. Last round, Koei Tecmo. They're one of the worst offenders. They just came out with Dead or Alive 6 last round. So go ahead and pull this up here. So you can get the full game. It says you can get the full game for $39.99. That's not true. That's not true. So let's look at this here. You'll get all of this content right here. They piecemeal it out for like $3.99 or whatever normally. But there's a lot more than what is listed there, including characters after this. And by the way, when Dead or Alive 5 last round came out, it was supposed to be the definitive edition of the game, because there was previously a Dead or Alive 5 where they released story mode content, like DLC, after the fact. This was supposed to include everything up to that point. And then they just kept releasing content. Ridiculous prices as well. $74.99, $64.99, $54.99. These are for costumes, guys. They're just for costumes. They're not new characters. They're not new stages. They're not any kind of story content. These are just for cosmetics. And like I said, they had introduced characters that aren't even part of this supposedly full game, like right here. Now, Tora Lee. $5.99. Higher priced also than all of the individual characters if you were to get the free edition and piecemeal the characters that you wanted to keep. Like, say you only play like maybe 3 or 4 characters and you're like, I don't care about the rest. So it'll be cheaper for me to do that. That's just one example. Capcom. Everybody loves Capcom. Let's just pull up Resident Evil 2. The remake. I have the standard edition of the game. There is a deluxe edition. Let's look at that. So, there's all kinds of stuff that is included with this. It's all costumes. It's all cosmetics. So I can buy that, get all that stuff. Extra DLC pack. So even if you bought the deluxe edition, which you think would include everything, it doesn't. It just doesn't. Boom, right here. All of this stuff. You can purchase the original soundtrack of the game. You can get the Samurai Edge, the Albert Wesker gun. And that's not all. That is not all. You can even pay to unlock all the in-game rewards. You know, that thing that people love to attack Ubisoft over. This is not at all new industry practice. Is it kind of shitty that Rockstar is doing this? Yes. I'm not denying that it's, shitty. It is. This is old news, guys. This is not news. This is olds. And it's clear that we've lost. 70% are claiming they're going to pay for the $100 Ultimate Edition. Which, by the way, it's only content specifically to the single-player campaign, apparently. I don't know. Maybe some of this content could be unlockable or transferable to GTA Online 2 or whatever they decide to call it for GTA 6. But it's done, guys. It's done. And it sucks. But we've got to move on. We've got to stop coping here. It is what it is. Just don't give in to consumerism any more than you want to. If you want the Ultimate Edition, get it. If you don't. You're not going to be really missing out on anything important. There's nothing that's actually important in all this content that you need to have. None of this stuff is actually going to enhance your gameplay experience. You know, the game is still going to play the same way. There's not going to be any difference. You know, the only time I really buy DLC is like when I bought Watch Dogs Gold Edition for 95% off. It was only $1.50 more than the base game. I was like, you know what? At that point, screw it, you know. Or if it's a game that actually includes a lot of stuff that I'm very interested in, like let's say, for example, good old Orcs Must Die 3. Love me some Orcs Must Die. I bought the DLC for that because that DLC added additional content to the actual game. Tipping the Scales DLC, Cold as Ice DLC. They actually added new game content, not just like cosmetic crap or whatever. They added new levels. They added new enemies. They added new weapons. They added like new stuff, like actual new playable content that isn't window dressing. And, you know, because it's a game that I like to play, and it added new actual playable content that would actually enhance my experience, yes, I bought that DLC. But most DLC is garbage, let's be real. Most of it is. That's why, even though I have Resident Evil 2, my favorite game in the series, arguably, it might be Requiem now, I didn't buy the DLC. Because the DLC is garbage. It literally is. It's just fluff. There is nothing that I need here. I don't need Neon dressing up like a sheriff. I don't need Claire dressing up in a noir outfit. It didn't make any sense to me. So, vote with your wallet, however you see fit. But please stop bitching about old fucking news, okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to check out the most recent video that I did right above my head, as you can see there. And in the other corner, the algorithm's going to send something to you. I hope you'll enjoy it because that's what YouTube thinks you will enjoy. And if this is your first time around here or whatever, if you just haven't done it yet, please be sure to subscribe. But that's going to be the last line.